Alrighty, and there was the showcase there. I did actually run out of ammo there, and we switched to steel round, so I just ended it there. We only did 2 silos, but I think it's worth showing. It's a fun build. I really like it. Honestly, some of the other 1 HP builds have been better, but it's still a really good build. And for an SMG up to 108 to 110k DPS is no joke here. Let's go ahead and get on into the build though. Of course, we're using the MPS-7 Outer Space, that's the main gun, and then we're using the Primal Rage. We use the Primal Rage because at 1 bullet it can lower your HP all the way down to 1 health, and this build gets a lot of boost from having low HP as well as low sanity. So yeah, without further ado though, let's go ahead and get on into the weapon mod itself. So we're just using this weapon mod right here, so let's go ahead and go over here. The Powersurge Rampage, inflicting Powersurge grants plus 5% Powersurge trigger chance, based on weapons trigger chance for 5 seconds up to 4 stacks, so up to a 20% boost there, and then on top of that, elemental boost is at 8%, and status damage boost is at 3.6%. Once again, our mods are pretty good for our elemental builds, and then we're just using a random mod on the Primal Rage, that doesn't really matter. For the set, we're actually using a gas mask hood after triggering Powersurge crit rate plus 35% for 3 seconds. I've thought about swapping this out for the Mayfly goggles. I honestly think I could be getting even higher damage here with the Mayfly goggles. Now, Mayfly goggles I think are actually a helmet piece, so it's really weird that, yeah, so here we go. Power Surge trigger count plus 1 Power Surge damage. It looks like minus 30. I really don't like that either. I don't really think trigger count matters, so we're gonna keep it at the crit. The crit does seem to help, so that's honestly, you know, what I'm using on it, and that's how I'm getting my damage. Treacherous set is a 4-set Treacherous set. And then I think I don't even currently like UC, so I thought maybe I had a different mask or something, or maybe it was boots I had different. Yeah, I had tactical combat boots. That can't be right. What is this? 3 full. That's a drop. So regardless, I don't actually seem to have any sort of like other item made. It's just a 5 set of the trench set. For the actual item, I think I might recommend if you were just after another item there, because you really only want to run a 4 set of the trench and then that key item that I'm using there. But you could use the Juggernaut set for a 1 piece for a magazine capacity bonus. That would definitely be helping out in SMG. Reload speed could help, so Renegade could work. Really wouldn't worry about that or that, though, you know, maybe use the shelter, maybe. But cold resist and heat resist, if you're in winter, maybe that might come in handy. Honestly not, though. Once again, your best bet's probably the magazine capacity with the Lone Wolf. I didn't even bother doing that because I wanted 6-star set pieces for the PSI intensity. But let's get on into the mods now. Here we go. So Deviation Expert, we're using the lunar variant of this. I actually recommend using the lunar variant mods for your 1 HP builds, and I'm hoping that they make the rest of the mods get lunar versions because they can be absolutely OP on their attribute effect rolls. So we're using Deviation Expert because it's a pure status boost damage of 20%. There's no HP related thing there. We don't have to be above a certain percent or anything like that, and we have a fire rate of 10%. We also have status damage up to 7.2% boost and a elemental damage of up to 12.8%. Onto the mask now, we have Thunderclap mod. This one is a 2 attribute boosting one at 3.6% shock damage and 3.6% power surge damage. This could be better, but once again, Thunderclap is the mod you want to be using for your mask on this gun, period. It's just a great mod. Ardent Shield, it's just a staple mod I always use on my 1 HP builds. It gives you that extra shield, and it makes it where the damage won't penetrate the shield, so it makes it where 1 HP is a lot more survivable. Once again, our attribute effect rolls for this are really good because it's a lunar variant. 9.6% on the elemental damage and 12% on the status damage. That's a lot of boost there. Once again, the lunar mods are absolutely OP. Elemental resonance, for each instance of elemental damage deal from the previous magazine, the next magazine gains elemental damage plus 1% for 15 seconds upon reloading, up to 24%. We only have a 1 attribute on this. We could be trying to roll for one that gets status and elemental damage, and that's actually what we are working on. But we need to farm up more mods, and we're out of controllers this season, and season ends in 40 minutes. That's why we're not like full covering this build. I wanted to do like a full showcase and run through all the silos with it, but I just ran out of ammo, and I just ran out of time because we're on to the next season now, and I'm about to lose a lot of armor and things like that. So here is for the gloves. It's just status enhancement, status damage plus 20%. Now you could also try elemental overload, and if you get an elemental overload that is a true attribute that has better rolls than maybe the one I have, Like, I have status enhancement on because it's the only 2 attribute I have for elemental and status. It's only a low 1.6 and 2.4, but it's kind of really hard RNG to actually get, you know, that any better than that. So, on to the boots though, we have Rush Hour. Once again, every 10% HP loss grants plus 4% melee, weapon, and status damage. 8% elemental boost, 4.8% status boost. Once again, 2 attribute effect boosts there. Pretty good, and it does make a pretty nice 6-star build here, guys. So once again, very fun build. We're also using a calibration blueprint. It boosts 7.4 and 11.8% elemental damage. And one final thing to note on is we use steel rifle ammo for the primal rage to lower our HP, but the ammo we actually use for the gun in combat and things like that is the illusion SMG AP ammo. Another thing is we're getting a bonus from marking targets, so I'm just using snapshot. It works phenomenally on this build. As for the cradle overrides, we'll go ahead and cover them, though they're very similar to my 1 HP Powersurge bow build. Transient impact, status enhancement, elemental sense, chaotic thoughts, bounty hunter, anti-phase, tactical combo, deviant energy defense. This is the one that gives us that extra shield just for summoning our deviation. This is how we can survive in 1 HP a lot easier, because your shield can actually take a lot of hits before it actually gets damaged. Now, for lowering sanity to the maximum sanity, if you're on Manibus, just go farm Cactus. Cactus will lower your sanity without giving you any sort of diseases. However, if you're on Winter, really your only option could either be to maybe grow some oranges. That could save you on some antibiotic usage, or go ahead and get yourself some spoiled food. Be hitting the monoliths daily, this monolith, and this monolith, and just collecting the HP boxes and the boxes on the walls and things for the dioxidants daily, like every 4 hours if you can even. And that'll get you a lot of antibiotics so that you're actually able to cure yourself of diseases after getting your sanity maxed out. Now, for the food items, we are actually using a whimsical drink as well as the new, it's like the surprise spring roll. It's one of the new lunar foods. We're using that because it's an elemental boost and then it's a status boost from the whimsical drink. One other thing I want to mention about the whimsical drink, be careful when you're crafting it. Do not use comb flour. You want to use something like maybe bell flour. This is just going to give you a dish bonus effect plus 10. That's really good. Bell flour is probably the one you want to be using on your whimsical drink. If you use something like comb flour or anything else like that, some of them will provide a healing effect constantly, and some of them will provide a sanity restoring effect constantly, both of which will remove sanity, removing damage, and remove HP, also removing damage. And once again, I showed you the little combat showcase there. Once again, I wish I had more time to like actually show you this build, but we're about to lose this build. I think we're on the base building for a minute. We might go ahead and finish off the Pyroclasm since we still have 4 more days for the Manibus server to end. But this has been the showcase and build guide. Hopefully you enjoy it. I highly encourage you to try this build out. It is a ton of fun, guys. But here's just a quick raw damage test. Just, you know, raw right off the rip. We're going to show the first clip and then the second clip's damage here at 65k on the first clip, and then bada bing bada boom, I seen up to 113k there. Let's go ahead and hit this one. Once again, we're still hitting 100k, so I'd say this is an easy, consistent 100k DPS. We did go down to 90k there, but then boom, back to 110k right off the bat there. 100k damage, easy. 120k right there, very, very nice, guys. 115k. Once again, it's pretty consistent on 120k to 115k. You could say that it's not consistent damage all you want because I have to unload one clip, but with this gun, you're going to constantly be firing, and trust me, you really need to try out the outer space. It is a pretty good gun when it comes to the 1 HP elemental build setups. So, I am out of here. I do want to do a Pyroclasm showcase. I think I have one set up on the alt that's completely ready to go. It might not be the highest of tiered mods, but I do hope you still enjoy that video as well. But I'm out. See you. Keep it based mode.